All right, you grasshoppers. What a thrill this is. Look at this man here. Hold on, I got a picture of him from the old days. Hold on 1 second here. Let's do this. Okay.
I saw that guy in a bunch of movies.
Yeah, right. For all you hockey people, Ranger fans, this is the one and only John Tonelli, 4 Stanley Cup winner with the Los Angeles Kings, with the New York Islanders. And he was a porn star in the 70s, too. Gress is looking for his girlfriend, Chloe.
Yeah.
John, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Tom.
Good.
For that outstanding intro. Really
I worked on that all day.
Right.
Gress, is that Chloe?
No, that's my mask.
Oh,
The guy sent me.
I still haven't got mine.
I want to put it on. I haven't seen John in a while. I want to make sure I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, John, what do you? You're in the title insurance business now, right?
That's what I do. I've done that for a long, long time. It's a business that I started doing in the summer, in the off season. So it's something that I could walk into when hockey was over.
Good. So John and I got to play together in Los Angeles for a while. We lived near each other too, and of course, I drove a pickup truck, and John drove a Mercedes.
Did I have a Mercedes? I don't think I did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, no question. Mercedes. I think it was a gold one with Florida plates on it too.
Yeah.
And we used to drive to the airport. We take turns driving to the airport. And when I drive to the airport, we would always park our cars there. So I would want to go to the long-term lot that was cheaper. And John, of course, like he wanted to valet his car right at the airport there. And we would battle on the way to the airport. Is that pretty
like 40 miles away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Further than when we lived from the airport.
Save $20, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
But you can do that when you win 4 cups, guys. I think that you can do a lot of things when you win 4 cups. You can, right?
I always begged to drive. I wanted to drive all the time so we could park right next door.
Yeah. Valet it.
Right.
We alternated.
Right.
So Dave, what do you remember about John Tonelli playing against him? Did he spear you any time or cross check you or what?
To me, he was the typical Islander, right? I played junior against John too. He played for the Marlies, and
we're
talented. Welcome, Duke.
Hey, Duke.
Hi, John.
How you doing, my old right winger?
Well, that's right. We all played together in LA.
We have, yes.
Yeah.
You guys made that town famous.
Hey?
Those 3 guys made that town famous. It wasn't Gretzky. It wasn't Gretzky.
Hey, are we on live?
Yes, we're live.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
We're live. Yes. Don't listen to this. We're live.
Okay. Well, you went early.
Yes. Tonelli, John was falling asleep in the chair.
Oh, okay.
So, Dave, what do you remember about John?
Well, as I was saying, I mean, like I said, we played junior against him. He was tenacious, kind of a Tasmanian devil guy that had a lot of skill and never gave you room. And same thing, with the Islanders. I mean, to me, he epitomized that team. You want to get after it, you could get after it. You wanted to play, you could play. And he was one of the friendlier guys too. I actually, I like John. He's one of the guys.
Dave, that's a nice way of saying he was a pain in the ass to play against. You go in the corner against John, it was like this.
Yeah, everything was moving, right? Everything was going all over the place.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me too how we got John on here today. Clark Gillies was begging to come on, like whining and crying like he wanted to come on the show. So I gave in and said yes, and then all of a sudden I think he got scared and didn't want to come on, so we had to settle for John.
I don't think he was scared. I don't think Clark. I don't think he was scared. I think he just couldn't start the computer.
Oh, could turn on.
Yeah, it was him and Nikki are tied now. Good deal.
And John, you ruined with Nikki in Calgary when you played in Calgary, right?
Oh, what a privilege and an honor that was. Unbelievable. So you get traded on the same day to the same team.
Right.
Your arch rival. Somebody who actually wanted to do some damage to you. Nikki's one player that you certainly had to be aware of where he was on the ice.
We did too. We did. I don't mean to interrupt you, Johnny, but when we had practice, all we'd hear is the puck and go around the ice. We used to open up the boards where you guys walked off at the garden, and he ended up at the post office across.
Yeah, right. Oh, they got him here.
Oh,
John, we had to put a different jersey on him just so we have to put him in orange just so we can see him.
I would much rather receive a cross-check from Tommy Laidlaw standing in front of the net than anything from Nicky. Believe me,
Yes.
that was tough. But
he was a good guy. He was a great guy, though. It must have been fun room with him.
Well, you know what they say about players when you get traded to another team, and you always kind of had a dislike for that guy or didn't favor that guy, and then now you're playing with him.
Yeah.
Nicky was truly that guy that,
Right.
like you say, the guy you'd want to play with and be on the same team with him.
It's not what you said before the show. You didn't say that when the show started, John. You were talking about. You were talking about.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
John, I'd be curious to know what was it like in the dressing room, Islander dressing room, when you were playing against us and talking about Nick Fotiu. What were the words that were shared about Nick Fotiu?
You know what? We didn't really talk much about that aspect of it. Myself though, I was in fear if I wasn't ready to engage. You know, I was actually in fear on that ice because I knew he could really hurt me. So, but during that time, you would think, well, what was Clarkie thinking? What was Bobby Nye thinking? What was Gary Howard thinking? Am I gonna have to be ready to fight Nicky? And I think there's a mutual respect there, where that didn't happen so often.
Do you guys know that John Tonelli's the only guy in the NHL that sleeps with both eyes open?
One eye.
You have both. Remember, dudes, we were on the plane. He'd have his eyes open. He's sleeping. We go tell the stewardess, the flight attendant, we said, that man over there wants something. So she's tried to talk to him. He's got his eyes like he's looking at her, but he's sleeping.
That's why I never got my tie cut.
There you go.
My eyes are open.
Oh,
Listen,
man.
Hey, with your eyes open and that mustache you had in that picture, Tommy.
Yeah, seriously. Let me sure everybody gets to see this.
I think, didn't I see one of those things downtown in Times Square in the 70s?
Yeah. Back in the 70s and 80s, that area.
Well, the question with John, guys couldn't figure out, is he Mexican or is he Italian?
Yeah. And he won Mr. Islander. Do you guys remember this? He won Mr. Islander. It's some benefit of something. Did you sing an Elvis Presley song?
I'm so sorry, guys. You weren't in attendance, or you weren't competing, or you would have had it. I'm sorry.
Didn't you sing an Elvis Presley song though?
Well, you could call it that.
Yeah. Come on.
Listen, when Clark Gillies tells you you're going to compete in this charity function that we're going to have, and when his eyebrows come to, and I go, Clark, I don't really want to, I'm kind of shy, I don't want to do that. And his eyebrows come together and he says, you're doing it.
Dukes, were you there when John Tonelli in LA, when John Tonelli had Marty McSorley pinned to the floor right before we went up for a game one night?
No, I missed that one.
So John was one of those guys that was really meticulous when he got ready for the game, taping the stick perfect and setting them in a perfect smart spot. And Marty McSorley is always trying to get to him. And if I remember correctly, Marty did something. I don't know if I should describe what he did to your sticks. I think he had
nose droppings, Tom. Nose droppings.
So we're just about to go for the game. We're just about to go for the game. John snaps, jumps on top of McSorley. Now, Marty McSorley is one of the toughest guys in the league at the time, and John's got Marty pinned to the floor right before we go out the ice.
Yeah,
Guys,
not a smart move.
that's good.
I think it's the last time he did it, though, right?
Oh yeah, he stopped doing it after that. Yeah. Yeah.
The whole dressing room was, and this is right before we're going on the ice. The whole dressing room's laughing.
Yeah.
They were laughing, and even Marty's on the floor and I got my stick on his throat.
Yeah.
And he's laughing at me.
And honestly, we're standing up, we're getting ready to go out for the game, and he's got him pinned down on the floor.
Right. Right. All the team stuff, right?
John, what do you remember? John, what do you remember about that year in LA playing with Gretz on the same team as Gretzky? Because you came in that same year. I was there already. What was it like for you?
That was one of the best times of my hockey life, is going to Los Angeles. And the biggest bonus was that Wayne was going there at the same time. And the rivalries between the Islanders and the Oilers, and you felt sad for Wayne, because now he's leaving that franchise and he comes to LA. But then you start to feel proud as heck and just amazed at what a world-class human being he is and what he did for Los Angeles. And he kind of brought us all along. As remember, Dukes, like nobody really wanted to talk to us that out. They just wanted to talk to Gretz. And then you'd be sitting in a dressing room and John Candy would walk in and say, "Hello, boys," and Tom Hanks and
Sylvester Stallone.
So much fun. So much fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was fun for me, guys. I got to coach John's son's team about 3 or 4 years ago. So we coached together for a year. It's Chloe. Is that Chloe Gresh?
I have no idea.
Oh.
John Gresh.
So John was a very intense player. He coaches the same way that he played. 14-year-olds. One day, John's wife had not gone to the game, and somebody had taped the game, and they're at home watching the game. You correct me if I'm wrong here, John. And your wife is in the other room watching the game, the tape of this game, and she got audio on it as well. And John's in the other room, and he hears her yelling all the time. And he yells out to his wife, "Who's that on the screen yelling?" She goes, "That's you." John was very into the game. Is that correct, John?
So correct.
Yeah.
You know what? That's why I could never be a coach at the pro level. Just too intense. You know? And that's why I brought in the magician, Tom Laidlaw, my defensive coach.
We were polar opposite. Like, I'm trying to settle the defenseman down. So John's up one end coaching the forwards, and I'm at the other end coaching the defenseman. If a defenseman ever made a mistake, John would come storming down the bench wanting to yell at the kid. And I'd have to I'd hold my hand up and say, get back.
I got this one. Yeah. You gotta compete.
Dave, you coached for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I coached quite a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was involved with all my kids and stuff. It was great. I liked it a lot. But you had moments though, right?
How many sticks do you think you broke in your coaching career?
A lot. I have my oldest sons here working out of the house, so you can attest to those moments. But hey, we all, you had to compete, right? And so,
how about you, Dukes? Were you a yeller on the bench? Were you coached? I
would holler out instruction. I wasn't a yeller like yelling like John, because John's
yeah.
I would be yelling out instruction because I started off teaching kids. You almost had to tell them what to do. So, but then once I got to the professional level, I was very calm, very quiet, and because I knew that it with players, especially as they get older, they can be a little bit sensitive. You get a little too hard on them, and so I got a lot more calm, and so. But I appreciated the kids to the adults, and when you think about coaching, you have your good days and you have your bad days. Unlike a player, you can get away. You can, in your mind, if you have a bad day, you can get away from it. But as a coach, it just hangs with you for so long. The stress about it. So I appreciated the fact that I had the opportunity to do that, because it makes it easier, like for us, to be able to talk hockey when you've actually been a coach.
Hey, John, speaking of coaches, what was Al Arbour's key to his success?
The biggest thing is
Right.
his calmness, and we're talking about intensity and being calm, cool, and collected behind that bench. And I would always, when I was coaching the kids, I'd always say, when I realized I was being intense and it just wasn't the right way,
Right.
just be like Al. Be like Al. Cool down, calm down. I mean, over the past few years here, I know you guys haven't been watching our replays of our games, but if you watch closely, when we have a situation where we're in trouble, you look at Al. He's behind there. He's got the same look. He's not yelling at anybody. He's calm. And
I think that's a great thing, but I think that, like, he had great players, like all you guys, you and Bobby and Clarkie and Bossy and all those guys. But I think that the part where he put things together and managed everybody in one team like that for that long a time was great. And I respect that whole management because they never traded away.
Right.
You guys lost to us in '79. The next year we traded 8 guys off the team.
Yeah, right.
And we won.
I
we
didn't
won.
realize that.
And you guys traded 2 guys. I think it was for Goring, and then you got that big right-handed defenseman that came from the Olympics. I can't remember what his name is now, but
Kenny Morrow.
Kenny Morrow.
he was a pain in the ass. Like you're coming over the red line with the puck. He's at the blue line and he poke checks you. Like, that's not fair. Like,
or he put your arm on you. He put his arm on you. You had a wingspan.
yeah.
Almost reached the width of the ice.
Then you had that big, heavy, fat ass pot fan. That guy could when he hit you, it hurt. I mean, and there's no disrespect to Arbor. He was a great coach, but you have all those personalities, all those great players, and somehow you got to make them gel, or they don't work. It's like Sater did in Edmonton. Bowman did with Montreal.
All the great coaches, right? I mean, all the great coaches.
It doesn't fall into. A lot of guys have good players and they can't make them gel.
Yeah.
And some guys do.
Oh, like Al knew the psyche or the makeup of every player.
Yeah.
He knew he could yell at one guy and not yell at the other guy. He had that all figured out. He was like a shrink.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have a question, guys, from one of our listeners here. A coaching question. Do you believe in keeping and rolling 4 lines or switch up lines depending on who is hot or cold during the game?
Depends what year it was.
What do you mean?
Well, we didn't have 4 lines back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
No, I mean,
I think now the skills, I mean, the elite guys are pretty elite. But I'll tell you, the 4th line player now there's a lot of skill there. And that's why I think I think as a coach, you probably have moments where you're going to need, certain people out there, but they just, they play at that pace now because they can all play at that pace.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when, it used to be, that guy can really shoot it, right? Like now they can all shoot it. Like
one-timers and all that, yeah.
my
Right.
daughter Gia, she's going to work. Just so you guys know, she works.
Hi, Gia.
Supporting the old man.
I'll call you later about the car. Okay. Bye.
So I just think that, but I think, I think if there's certain situations, I know you coach at the pro level. I'm sure there are times, you got to have a guy out there a little more often in certain situations in the game. I think part of coaching.
I would say this: we got 3 defensemen on right now, and you guys always got plenty of ice time.
Yeah.
But as a forward, when we started to go to 4 lines, I freaking hated it.
Yeah, right.
Not enough ice time.
Right.
And you weren't into it as much. I didn't, especially if you end up playing on the 4th line.
Yeah.
When I was in LA, I ended up playing on the 4th line, 3rd line, 4th line. John, what were we? The 3rd line? What were we?
I think we could vouch for 3rd line.
Yeah, it was you and I and Kuznetsky. But the thing is I just didn't feel like I can get into the game as much. And 4th line, I didn't like it. That's why when I went to Detroit, and they started to go with 4 lines in 84, maybe 85. Nick Polano was there as the coach, and they all said, this guy's the dumbest coach in the NHL. But I loved him. You know why? We played 3 lines. We had days off and optional skates during the day. I love the guy.
I like him now too.
What I'm saying is, if I'm in great shape, I can handle playing 3 lines. It's just all it is. It's sort of a shorter shift. And I've always disliked 4 lines. You see some of the good coaches, sometimes they'll go to 3 lines. It doesn't hurt them. It doesn't hurt them. You just give the guys a day off the next day. So I don't know, John, how you feel about it, because you and I are the forwards here.
Yeah. Well, listen, to Dave's point, it changed dramatically from the days we played. If you were behind, if you needed some offense, you probably went to 2 lines and a couple of players. Today, I think because of the strength of the 4 lines and the depth, I think the coach has a lot of choices who he's going to go with.
John and Dukes, I think you guys both remember in LA when Robbie Ftorek was coaching and he benched Wayne Gretzky.
That was in Detroit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd that work out?
Oh, well,
How'd that work out?
he found a new job the next year. Yeah.
By the way, I love Robbie.
Yeah.
Did you like Rob?
I loved him.
So did I.
Loved him. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
You like Tom?
Yeah. So Robbie, we played with him here in New York, or I played with him in New York too. Robbie was the most disciplined guy I've ever seen. And he coached. I think the rule, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the rule he had was if you lost your composure or something on the ice, he would sit you on the bench, right? And I think we had a young goaltender, Fitzpatrick, that had come up. It was like his first game, and he had a shutout going, and Wayne turned over the puck at center ice. Detroit went down and scored on him to ruin the shutout. So Wayne was more mad at himself, went down to the end of the ice and broke his stick over the back of the net. So now we go in. It's the end of the second period. We go in between periods, between the second and the third. And it's like the rumor starts going around the locker room. We got a real veteran team like Larry Robinson, all us guys, Dave Taylor and everything. And the rumor starts going around the room that Robbie's going to bench Wayne Gretzky. And we're all like, oh, my God, no, you can't do it. So we go up to the third period, and he had benched him. And I think, wasn't it Mike Krusheninski finally leaned back to him and said, you got to put him on the ice? Was that? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Wayne was pretty good, though. Like, Wayne didn't ever want to respect or disrespect anybody.
Yeah.
So you guys all remember the old Detroit locker rooms. There was a whole bunch of locker rooms in each area. So Wayne took Robbie down to another locker room where he thought he could talk to him in private. And we heard him yelling through the bricks. 18,000 people didn't come here to watch you coach. Oh God.
Yeah. I wouldn't have had much of a chance playing for Ftorek, right, Gresh? No. That wouldn't have worked.
I can't tell the whole story, but one time Anders Hedberg and Robbie Ftorek came to me and they go, I want you to go talk to some of the guys. There's some problems going on. And I go, why me? And they're going like, we want you to know these guys won't listen to anybody else. I go, you go talk to them. I'm not talking to them about that shit. Scratch that last word.
Hey, John, I got to ask you, what was it like during the days of, 78, 79, 80 when you guys were winning? And we also had a good team in that year of 79. How did you guys view us as players? Because here we are in Manhattan, you guys are in Long Island. Did you guys think that it would have been fun for you guys to be a Ranger?
Business-wise, today for me, yeah.
No. Back then, were you guys envious of us?
That's a good question, Dukes, because I think that's, it attributes to our success because we were kind of like a small town community under the radar. Wasn't a whole lot going on Long Island, and listen, it's when you play in a big city, you got to be really focused and really. You guys could have been the most focused players ever, but somebody's going to say, well, they're not focused because they live in Manhattan. You know? So I would, going back and looking at it, we were always focused on your team because you guys had a really, really good team. If I look back, if we didn't beat you guys could have won easily, Yeah. Not that it would have been easy, but there's no reason to think that you guys couldn't have went all the way. And I actually thought you guys were going to go, and win it after you beat us in 78, 79.
I think we were better. I think our teams were better with Herbie, like those series we had, you know, in what was it, 84 when Morrow scored in overtime. And we were always, but you guys, Islanders, personally, having, you know, said bled red, white, and blue, and still to this day a Ranger, I was envious of the Islanders.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you couldn't help but be envious or respect, because at the end of the day, who wouldn't give whatever it took to do what they did? I mean, to me, it's just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal.
Yeah, it was like finding a way to win. Like you had some series against Pittsburgh. You didn't like you were going to win that series. I can't remember what year it was. You won that series. You scored a big goal, actually, I think, John, to get the team going. And you're right, Dave. When Kenny Morrow scored that overtime, we should have won that series. We had them 2-1 at the Garden in game.
Right, and Sutter scored 3 in the third in Game 4, right?
Yep.
Something like that. And then you're like, and even, you know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, like, Ken Morrow, please, couldn't it have been Bossy?
Yeah.
Well, Bossy scored that game too, right, Tom?
Yeah, Ron, he did. Yeah. John, the only bad thing though, John, is you had to cheat to win though, right? That offside goal.
Yeah.
Which one, Tom? Which
Oh.
outside goal?
Oh,
Did you score? Was it that when you said Bobby? Was that one offside?
No. You're talking Dwayne Sutter goal.
Oh,
That's where Leon Stickle was at the blue line, ready to call it offside, but one of the Flyer defensemen was right in his view. So Leon had to guess whether it was onside or offside. And thank God he guessed right for us.
it was only about 10 feet offside. It wasn't.
Close, not 10, but close to 5.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheaters.
Who's counting though if you're winning?
Cheaters.
it's a little bit like the one Don knocked in, whether it was a high stick or not, right?
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How about that one?
It wasn't too high, put it that way. It was just high.
It was just high.
Anybody look at that had eyesight?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have taken 5 minutes to check out whether it was a high stick or not.
John, how about the Boston series? It was your second cup that you had to win, or first cup? Was the first cup? It had the big brawls against Boston.
The first cup, yep.
Yeah.
That was game 2. Boston had been they were first overall, and we went in and played them. And if you read the papers the night before, we didn't have a chance. We were going to lose 4 straight. So you get on that ice, they had some characters.
Oh.
Do you remember those guys?
Oh,
yeah.
No.
They're all right wingers too, right, Crash?
Oh,
Remember the right wingers? Like a
Terry
Ryder?
Ryder.
They had a couple on the left side too. Jonathan,
yeah,
Secord.
Al Secord.
Oh,
Winsink.
Winsing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And no corners to hide in.
Right. Let me tell you, game 2, we won the first game in overtime. In game 2, there came a point in time where out of nowhere, Stan Jonathan, oh God, I can't remember his name right now, comes out of nowhere and sucker punches our right defenseman.
That was Lorimer, right?
Bob Lorimer.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Can you imagine, like, I could see if I was facing Stan Jonathan, he would punch me, right? But Stan Jonathan to come out and punch you from nowhere, from blindside, and just the bench is emptied, and everybody had a hold of somebody.
Yeah.
And it was just, this is where I have to give so much credit, and a lot of us will from our team, to guys like Clark Gillies,
Yeah, right.
Gary Howitt, Gordy
Mm.
Lane.
Right.
They all stood up to those guys for us.
Yeah. Gordy Lane was my defense partner in junior.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So
He
you
was a
could
bit
do
older than
whatever
I
you
was, but-
wanted to, right?
Oh yeah. He wasn't scared of it. He wasn't scared of anybody.
Yeah, he's tough.
Him and Clarkie had a couple. I think they had a fight in junior when we were in Regina one time.
Is
And
that
Clarkie
right?
was a
How'd
big
that work
Clark-
out?
I don't know. I closed my eyes because I didn't want to see anybody get hurt that bad on both sides.
Yeah.
But all those guys, like I knew Bobby Nystrom before I came to New York, before I came to the Rangers.
Did you?
And Gary Howitt lived in a town like a little. Well, in Saskatchewan, where I grew up, like if you lived 50, 60 miles away, that was like your neighbor. So it was okay. He grew up in Grand Center, Alberta.
You know,
But he was a tough shit though. He was
Listen,
Gary
that,
Howard.
that was another
how-
bonus. That was another bonus for me. My right winger, Bob Nystrom,
Yeah,
right?
Bobby.
I could pretty much do what I wanted to do on the ice. Not that I was going to do anything stupid, but you know what? To have him on my right side, like my big brother, that was huge.
Yeah.
Huge for me.
and he could play.
It would
Yeah.
scare all you guys away from me, right?
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I loved it if Bobby wasn't playing. I'd be running all night long if Bobby Nystrom wasn't playing.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was always like Clark. To me, I can remember like if you, it was almost like don't poke the big bear, just leave him alone.
Yeah.
Just leave him alone. But Bobby Nystrom, he was right on the edge. He was another right sider. Like, oh my god!
Yeah.
We used to go up for warm up and see, okay, who's playing on the right side? See those guys. Like, oh my gosh! I mean, another one of these guys.
Yeah, that's why I played rugby.
The thing was, they're all honest. That's what I like. Like not like the Flyers. Like you go to the Flyers and you get japped 6 different ways, right?
Yeah.
The Islanders, they came and played hard.
They did. Those games are great. Those games are great games. I know. I wish we could have beat you guys because I really disliked you guys, like a lot. Like
Right.
I don't today, but a little bit today. But the Flyers, I still hate today.
Hey, Gresh.
They were a Jap team, and when they got traded to somewhere else,
Yeah.
they wore little dresses.
Hey, Gresh, remember when we crossed over the line during the summer? We go over to the bars over and now, you know, over across the other side of the beach. We were like in enemy territory, you know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And that's how it was, right? I mean, the South Shore and the North Shore. Like we never, other than to go over to play, and then we snuck over there a couple times in the summer.
Salty dog.
Salty dog, right? And we never. And my favorite place to play was the Coliseum outside the Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's crazy?
Yeah, I
Was,
know why. I know why, because almost more than half of the building was cheering for you guys.
Especially in warm up, everybody be there. Oh, that was awesome.
I'll never forget that. My first game against the Rangers, you know, whether it was an exhibition game, I said, whoa, wait a minute. This is a home rink.
Do you know that like Howard and Bobby Nystrom never went into the city unless it was by that bus to play the games. You know that for a long time, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They used to never not later on and after, you know, like on their career, but at the beginning, they only went on the bus to play the games at the Garden. And I remember getting off the plane, going to my lawyer's house in Rockville Center, and going to myself, where are we going? My first time in New York, and the guy goes, I'm picking you up. You're going to your lawyer's office, which guy stole all my money. But anyway,
You went to that house.
Center. I go look. If I wanted to stay and see buildings that were 2 stories high, I could have stayed in Saskatchewan. Okay, get me into the city. And I went into the city a couple of days later by myself. I slept one night in Penn Station.
There you go.
They kept kicking me out of there.
There you go.
John, so all those cups you won, is the first one the best, or which one?
First one's the best. For me, by far, it's a dream come true. You know, as all of us as kids, we play street hockey and pretend we make something look like the Stanley Cup, and we compete against each other since we were kids, and we raise it and celebrate. So when you realize it, when you realize the dream, it's something special.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
You guys had a great team. Can't deny that.
but I got
I'm not going to say you guys were better than Montreal or not better than Edmonton, but all A pluses, those 3 teams in a row that we all played against,
Right.
Montreal Canadiens, the Islanders, and the Oilers. Those 3 teams were all great teams, and I don't think one was better than the next.
Yeah,
I mean, they were all tough to play against. Yeah, if you wanted to fight, they would beat the shit out of you. And if you wanted to score, they had Bossy to outscore you. So go ahead. Then you had Trottier, you couldn't knock down. The teams were great.
Yeah, Trotz was something, right?
Well,
So, he's
Hey,
always-
He was.
You mentioned Brian, and I wanted to ask you this because of the he was your captain and the rivalry. When you first heard of him being the head coach of the New York Rangers, what were your thoughts on that?
I was I surprised that they went with an Islander? A little bit, but not as surprised as you would think. I think Trotz had a lot of value to bring. And, I don't think it really, I've talked to him about it in the past, and I don't think he really had everything going for him as far as, I think he was missing a few pieces that might have helped him have a better success. And one story comes to mind that he told me, and I forget the name of the goaltender. And one of the goaltender he had, who was his number one guy, and sorry guys, I forget his name.
You were at the Rangers?
The Rangers, yeah. When he was coaching the Rangers,
Mike Richter.
not Rick,
No,
not Rick. It was the other guy. I think he
Van
was.
Beesbrook.
No,
no, he was gone. Van Beesbrook was gone.
Yeah, it wasn't those two guys. It was another guy, but basically he was hot. He played really well one game, and Trotz went up to him and said, "Listen, I'm going to need you to play like 7, 6, 6, 7, 8 in a row." He says, "I don't play back-to-back games well." I go,
Really?
"That's a problem."
Wow.
was it Mike Dunham?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of guys complaining about not playing.
Yeah.
I've
Right.
heard guys about, I don't
Wow.
want to play that much.
And it's not as though that position's not important either, right?
Hey,
Only
you played a pretty good game. I want you to play a game.
Yeah, it's
the
no.
only goalie I've ever seen do that
Can't
was
do it.
Gilles Gratton.
Yeah, the count.
Yeah, the moon. He told Fergie, John Ferguson, the moon's not in the right place right now tonight. I can't play. And Fergie knocked down 2 walls in the locker room. There was a guy, John Ferguson wasn't the guy you wanted to cross
No.
No.
because
No.
he didn't hold the revenge factor very long. But I think he passed away 10 years ago, and a lot of guys he still hates.
Yeah. He loved that. He loved us young guys though, right,
Well,
Crash?
he loved that. Oh my God, yeah.
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 He absolutely loved us young guys.
I thought this is a good question, guys. As Alan Ellis wrote in here, how intense was the Flyers-Rangers rivalry? I was more thinking it was the Islander-Rangers rivalry, which was that instead the brawls in the preseason games. Those were great.
Like I said before,
lot of fun.
playing the Islanders in pregame was great. Playing the Flyers was
Yeah.
it was like they were like it was crazy. It was nuts.
Well, those preseason games, there's no use putting a puck out there, right? I mean,
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Well, most of the times, like I remember when it was Paul Stewart played. It was an exhibition game. He went on to be an official, right?
yes.
And he came over from Quebec, right? And I forget who would have been the coach then. Anyway, so he goes in exhibition game. He challenges the Flyer bench. I'm going, what are you doing?
Yeah. Frankie Beaton too.
Yeah, Frank Beaton. We're gonna have to play them 15 more times or whatever we have to play. And it's like September. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
I mean, speaking of playing, in 78, 79, that season we played the Islanders and the Flyers with exhibition, regular season, and played
Yeah.
31 games.
Something like that. Yeah, it was some unbelievable amount of times.
That many times, huh?
31. Well, we played you guys 16 times and the Flyers 15. We won in 5 against them and 6 against you. But it was that particular season, it was 8 regular season games. And those games were fun.
Yeah.
If I remember.
Well, that's why
I can remember because some of the bars didn't close till 4, so I happened to be out.
Well, I remember that. I remember Dean Talvis. I think we maybe talked about Dean Talvis is one of the first born again athletes that came, and he had chapel service before, most home games, and then so he has the chapel service before we go out against the Flyers, and we're like 5 minutes into against the Flyers. We're down 4-0. We've had the snot knocked out of us, and we're no factor. So I remember going to Dean after. I said, "You know what, Dean? Maybe for the Flyers, we don't want this fishing thing playing a role here. They want to do it a different way." He said, "Okay, no problem."
We're gonna have to call in Andre the Giant to help us.
Yeah, right. No, that was
John, they had your number retired by the Islanders as well. Congratulations.
If
Yeah.
you go back to the Flyers, right? So, remember when you had to race for icing?
yeah.
Everybody had to race
Oh.
the goal line to get icing. So I'm racing Ben Wilson
Oh,
to beat him in an icing call, right? And where does my stick get caught? Between his legs.
Yeah, I
He
got
goes
caught.
crashing into the board.
I got caught.
Whew.
You tripped him.
He gets up and he's like chasing me. And Bobby Nye's like so mad at me. He's so mad at me because he's yelling at me. What did you do? What did you do that for? so well, thank God things kind of simmered down. Sorry, Ben. Sorry, Ben. Stupid. My bad, right?
He was one of the scarier.
Oh,
So they had the original. So Gresh, you probably the most experience against the original Broad Street Bullies, right? Like
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. There was a lot of fun in '75. Going in there as a 19-year-old kid and coming back, you looked like you were just got whipped to death. There was so many stick marks on you.
Remember the time we played them back to back? We played them back to back one like a Saturday afternoon there and home on Sunday. And JD had about, I don't know, 120 shots against him. He was one massive bruise.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was awful.
That was funny. I heard this thing on online somewhere. Somebody told me about they were interviewing Bobby Clark. And they asked him about what the game is today, how it's played and how fast it is, how his team, the Broad Street Bully team from '75, would do. And Clarkie answers, "Well, I guess we'd probably beat them." And the guy goes, "Oh, you think you could beat them?" He goes, "Yeah, it'd probably be a little tough." And the guy goes, "You think it would be tough?" He goes, "Yeah, we're all in our 70s." I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
No,
that team was ugly to play against. You played a couple. Did you play against them, Dave, your first year?
in 75, no. Well, no, I didn't. I was up for 4 games, didn't play against the Flyers.
I know you played against Boston because you got a tap on your butt for that one, but I remember
Yeah.
Bobby, after your
Bobby, yeah.
one round.
And for me, when you go back and Gresh, you missed the dynasty teams, right? Like we caught the Canadians and then the Islanders, and then I caught, largely started the Oilers. And to me, the Canadians were always like almost like the Yankees. There was a certain amount of respect they had, and you actually got a sense that they respected you too, And then the Islanders, and I think it was somebody just said they just found a way to get it done. They just found a way to get it done. Always got it done, right? And then the Oilers were so cocky, right? They had the puck, they'd laugh at you. Glenn was behind the bench with that kind of smirk he's got going on. Grant Fearby eating a hot dog on the bench. It was just, to me, they were 3 distinct, tremendous dynasties and all had their own identity. It was great.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, Gresh, the one thing you have over all of us is that you got to play against Bobby Orr.
No, he played against me.
Against Bobby Orr?
Yeah, I played.
He played against me, Ron. I didn't play against him.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it wasn't for guys like me, Bobby Orr never would have been as good as he was. No, there was just guys like that. Bobby Orr, Bobby Orr, Gretzky, Lemieux. There's guys like that are just, they go like Gordie Howe. Who can you say is the best? You just go like they're all A+, and there's nobody. Well, Gretzky has 3,000 points, which is great, but Bobby Orr only played 600 games.
Yeah,
right.
He had 900 and some points.
Well,
what's that?
Also, too, with Orr, he played on that small ice surface, right?
Yeah.
His greatest thing was his skating. He played half his career on half an ice surface.
And half his career on half a leg.
Yeah, right.
On one leg, I mean.
I'm telling you, I'm obviously biased. He's my all-time idol, but
yeah, so am I.
But he just really, if you even put him on a normal sized ice, he would have had that much more room to do what he did.
good.
Yeah. Well, hey, Johnny, Tommy was asking about having your number retired. Well, Tommy's number's retired too, you know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, at the Garden, go look one day. They just misspelled his name.
Put leash on it.
Leach.
I don't know how I said to them, I told them they misspelled Leach. How do you, like, you're supposed to, Laidlaw is supposed to be.
Yeah. Hey, what did the guy do? He didn't do that much. He wasn't that good, was he?
No,
Leach?
no. I remember when Leachy came to the team back in the late 80s, and he walks in the locker room, and here's this scrawny, sorry, Leachy, but this scrawny little kid, right? And we're going to play the Flyers the next day. I go, wow, this is great. We go on the ice, and I'm standing next to James Patrick in the corner, and Leachy's batting pucks out of the air, skating like I've never seen anybody skate like that in our team in a long time. And he goes to Philly, and he just wipes him, like he just cleaned it up.
Right.
They were trying to run him. They couldn't hit him.
Couldn't
Like,
catch him.
he was amazing.
Yeah. Float on his skates, right?
I mean, I got to put him down as probably like the greatest Ranger of all time. There's been a few good ones, but you know, he won the Norris, he's won the Stanley Cup.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you can't take things away from a guy that were well deserved, earned, and Leachy's an old timer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Old
he's
school.
not a new blood. He's a true blood, not a new blood.
You know who I loved as a defenseman was Larry Robinson. We got to play with him at the end of my career there in LA. I loved the way he played. I know Bobby was there, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, a guy like him, when he, I can't remember who he hit. I think it was Selesky or something.
Gary Dornhofer.
Gary Dornhofer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Talk about turning around the series.
Yeah.
Right.
And he would, like, what they call him Big Bird. That was his name, Big Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, the man was big, and he went after Schultz. Like Clarkie went after O'Reilly, right?
Yeah.
Turns things around and makes your team a lot different.
Yeah.
Everybody's one part of your body grows bigger,
Yes.
and you have guys like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Larry can do it all, right? Kill penalties, fight,
Oh,
power play.
amazing. Yeah.
Actually, Gresh, it was kind of, I'm just going to correct you. It was O'Reilly who went after Clarkie because their theory was if they could beat Clarkie, if they could beat Bobby Nye, if they could beat us physically, we were
Yeah.
done, right?
Oh, I'm yeah.
Yeah. So that was the turning point for us in that series.
I remember watching those fights.
Whew.
The only unfortunate thing for me is I had to play against, we had Clarkie, we had Bobby Bourne. So I'm number 3, right? So I got all the good guys. I got Paul Holmgren, I got Terry O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I got to play against those guys all the time.
Yeah. Paul Holmgren. That was fun to play against him, wasn't it? Oh
Oh,
my God. That guy to me was
how you doing tonight, Paul? Not a chance. Nothing.
Well,
I remember we were playing in Philly. We were playing in Philly one time. And this one guy, I'm not gonna mention his name, but he's a good guy. He's not Schultz, but another guy. He keeps running me from behind, right? So we're at a face-off. I said to him, "Look," I says, "I'll bet you anything you want to bet. When the puck is dropped back, I was playing lefty. The puck is back in the corner. I'm gonna leave it there, and by the time you pick it up, and you get from there to the front of the net, either I'm gonna take the puck from you, or the ref's gonna blow the whistle because it's gonna be all carved up." Oh my God. The next shift, you ran me twice.
I'll tell you, at Gresh and Duke, we all played with, Tommy and Duke. To me, Gresh was the best bench jockey guy
Oh, yeah.
on the bench. He was unbelievable on the bench,
God.
bench jockey. Like you would go after. I remember you go after Gordy Lane because you played junior against him, and you would just rake him over the coals. Oh my God!
Yeah. Oh, but
That was your partner in junior?
yeah.
And you,
But, you know that when he went to your team, he had a chance to come to our team,
oh, he did? Oh, yeah.
and Freddie didn't. Freddie said, "No, we don't need him." I go, Freddie.
We need
He
him.
might not be a good puck handler, but everything else he has, like a pitchfork. Like he was awesome. He was an awesome guy.
He came from. Was he drafted by Washington? Did he come?
Yeah.
Where,
Yeah,
Washington. He was in Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, we
And he's
did.
like-
I forgot that was an ad.
he came to our team in junior. He came to our team in it was 72 or 73, but he like Gordy was he had some problems, but he was a great team guy. And
Played a
tough,
great part for us.
tough as hell, boy.
Yeah.
What's interesting, Duke had mentioned before how after we were 78, 79, we got rid of 7 or 8 guys, and the Islanders lost. You lost to Toronto, right? That in 77.
77.
Lost to us. And then just instead of they're just nice little pieces added here and there, and then you win 4 straight. I think we talked about this before. If we'd have been able to kind of keep that group together in 79, who knows?
Yeah. Well, 81, we went to the semifinals against you guys, Johnny, and we lost, and we traded 10 guys the next year. So,
Yeah, that was a whole different team.
I didn't follow that. I didn't realize that.
yeah, well, I mean, I didn't,
Well, that was Herbie.
you had
Then, right?
you had the
Yeah.
same coach the whole time.
Yeah, coach, same. Yeah, well, Herbie came in, and now he had a different style, and he wanted players that could play that way, and but we could never beat the Islanders. Those teams, we could play with anyone, and they weren't so much physical. It's just destiny, I guess, or something. That one in '84 was hard.
Yeah.
That one was hard.
Well, given that we should have won it at the Garden, right? We had him down.
Right. Totally.
Yeah. But
Hey, John, do you there you go. John, do you enjoy watching the game now compared to 20 years ago?
I love the game today. I'm watching it all the time, and everybody's gotten better. The depth of all teams, a lot of skill. Everybody can skate. I think Dave, you mentioned this earlier. They can skate, shoot, physical. Everybody's got to be a 200-foot player for the most part. You're gonna have trouble, sticking in there unless you're a really good goal scorer, So the game has changed. I don't know if you guys are as frustrated as I am watching the game sometimes, where how you might put a little pressure with your stick on a guy that you're going to check, and he falls down, and it's a penalty.
Yeah.
I think it's too. I know one thing. If I never interfered with a forward coming in to forecheck Dennis Potvin, do you know who would get speared first?
Oh, you.
I would.
Yeah.
Dennis would come up and he said, "Don't you ever let anybody come near me forecheck, if you can." But you can't really do that today.
No.
Can you?
No.
Gus, what are we doing? What are you reading there, Gus? Like, there's a letter from Chloe or something?
No, my daughter needs her social security number. She's, leave her alone. She's working, Craig. You're not working, are you?
No.
Okay, then.
John, speaking of work, what kind of work do you do, John? I don't even know.
It's a secret, Dukes.
He works for an
Is that why
underground.
you're in the dark right now?
He
He works for an eyeglass company there. Got those buggy eyes.
Hey, look at the picture Dukes has. This is John in real life. The picture Dukes that Tommy has.
Dudes, who is that behind you? We didn't talk about that. Who's that behind you?
Me?
Yeah. Who's all the pictures there?
Family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my kids.
Any of Kim up there?
No exes.
Not good up there. Let's not start talking about exes.
It's not enough.
And then if I turn it like this,
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to see, a guy in white pants. Okay.
No wonder.
So anyway,
I'm in the title business. I've been doing it, believe it or not, for almost 40 years.
Wow.
It's something I used to do when I was playing with the Islanders. I would do it in the off season.
How old are you then? Like, you 80 years old, or how old are you?
Close,
Yeah.
Tom.
Okay.
he's damn near the oldest guy on here.
Can't be.
Damn
no,
near.
John and you and I are 63, right?
63 Dukes.
Yeah, I'll be 63 in July.
I'm 62. What
Oh,
are you,
so
Dave?
Dave's the oldest guy on here.
I'll be 64 in July.
Oh, Okay.
One more guy.
Okay, Tommy.
No, 62.
Anyway, I want to give you guys. I wanted to say some. I got a call today from Eddie Johnstone, and he's having some medical problems.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got a ticker. You know, he's had problems before and all that. He's got.
Wow.
So I'm just gonna do a little shout out to Eddie to be healthy, be good, you know, and
Good.
stop drinking that Jack, whatever he's drinking. Leave
Right.
it for me.
Yeah.
And just, too, we had that nice graphic that we posted on Facebook and Instagram, and a gentleman by the name of Robert Herr made that for us. He's on Facebook, the Real New York Ranger fans. They're not New York Islander fans, New York Ranger fan, John.
Got it.
Well, we lucky, you know, the one thing about being a Ranger, like you get to meet almost every Islander fan there is, like all 6,000 of them.
Yeah.
So it's
Like, where'd they have their parades? Were the parades in the parking lot?
They're pretty good. Those parades are good.
yeah. No, hey, listen to me. If I would have won. Let's see, you guys had in the parking lot. The Devils had in the parking lot.
Yeah.
If I'd have won, I wouldn't have cared where it was.
Yeah.
I'd
Hey,
like
John,
somebody says,
John, I have to ask you, how good was Dennis Potvin?
He was really, really good. Watching the old replays, he was like he could do it all. He could
Right.
skate, and he could be physical.
yeah.
He was a nasty guy when he wanted to be.
Yeah, no. I remember.
He was also very for us. He was a great leader. He had great composure, spoke well, and for a guy that never went to college, played hockey all his life. I mean, he's very well spoken, and I looked up to him a lot when I played with him.
I remember I played junior. I was called up when I was 15 to play junior, and it was against the Ottawa 67s. And he'd played junior for like 5-6 years. I mean, this was his draft year. And I remember he went wide, right? And I whacked him, right? And he turned around. He had that red kind of handlebar mustache. And he had the round helmet on, and he put his stick up. He said, "If you ever slash me again, I'm going to jam this right down your throat." Okay, sir. It's a little bit like, oh man, and he was mean. Oh boy, he was mean. But I always certainly respect him as a player, and he's a big man. And I just wonder. See, a thing also too, when you look at that Islander team, it really was. There were great players, but it's not like, or Hall of Fame players, but it wasn't like guys who. When you talk about the Islanders, you talk about their team. That's my impression. You talk about the Oilers, it's Gretzky, it's Messier, or something like that. And just they're great players. It was a great team. It was a great team.
Well,
Great.
listen, you got Dennis Potvin, Brian Trottier, Mike Bossy, so the other guys, you had to find a way to contribute because you
Right.
going to get on the power play. I played on the third line, with Bobby Nye and Wayne Merrick. So we had to find a way to contribute and be important. And I think we all do that, right? When you're on, when you're not getting most of the ice time, you got to find another way. And for the playoffs, that was the spot.
That was key, right?
We might have to start a GoFundMe page so John can turn his lights on.
Yeah, no kidding. Well,
Oh,
his eyes are so buggy. His eyes are so buggy that the light gets in.
But Layla was saying a lot of crap about you. I got to say, oh my God,
What?
that can't be true.
Yeah.
Sleep with his eyes open.
Yeah. And it has to be John's way too. Like, we're being all nice to him and all that kinds of stuff, but geez, I mean, it's like he's the pickiest man on the planet. If it's not John's way, it doesn't work.
Oh yeah. Okay, Tom.
What?
That's like,
What are you talking about?
oh yeah. Oh, it's not Tom's way. Okay.
It's the wrong way.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
I think you do get
All right, John, you in your prime, how would you do in today's game if you in your prime, John Tennell in his prime, how would you do in today's game?
Wow. So if I'm allowed to forecheck and nobody's going to get him in my way, I felt like I was a pretty good forechecker and could put pressure on guys, right? I think I do okay, you know.
But you almost averaged close to 30 goals a year. Would you still be able to score?
You know, it's more difficult today to put the you know, with geez, that's a tough question. That's it, because I think all of us here would find a way to adjust.
Yeah.
In the game today, you know.
Well, I'd like to talk about, we would have been all like privy to what these guys are all as normal now. Like you have two kids who are going to play hockey at Brown University, right? And they were coached by an ex-NHL player most of their lives, and elite teams most of their lives. So we would have all been prepared to play in today's game if that would have been normal for us, today's game, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's like my son's going to Iona to play rugby, and 30 years ago, the biggest guy was 195 pounds. Now they're 295.
right,
You want to play in that game today? I don't want to play in that game. My
right,
son's 18. He scares me.
right.
Wow.
Well,
There's a factor, right? Look at the
He weighs
size of these
330.
guys. Look at the size of these defensemen playing today. You know, and they can all skate.
yeah, you know, move, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the difference is from like say for the forwards, like for you guys, for you in Ronnie's position, from 1 to 12 today, there's not that much difference. It's like the 100. It's like number 1 in golf to 125. It's a quarter of a stroke per round.
Yeah. Right.
And in hockey, those guys they're just everybody can skate. Fourth liners can skate as well as first liners. Back in the you know in the 70s, guys that were on the third or say fourth line, they fought.
Yeah.
They
Well,
couldn't skate.
Guys, we got to let John go here. He's got to take a nap. So,
I appreciate that. Coach Laidlaw,
good.
There you go. All right.
buddy.
John, it's great to see you again.
Yeah,
Great
John,
to see you guys.
we'll see you in
Thanks,
Armagh.
You guys were good. You know, wear it proudly.
Listen, I always respect you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Yeah,
much
you
for
guys,
having me.
you
And
guys
when
are
we
a
have
great
Mark
team.
Billy's on, you got to go to his house there and make sure you can turn the computer on, okay?
Yeah, there's that little switch there. I'm gonna have to tell Clarky that little you have to push that button once in a while.
Power.
You know?
Power.
Okay, who's going to tell him that? I'm
I'll
not.
tell
Like, I will from here. I wouldn't do it face to face, but I'll do it
Listen
here.
to me. Saskatchewan guys stick together, okay? We don't care about the rest of
good.
the country.
Good
All right, guys.
Okay.
Good job, guys. Good job.
See you guys.
Take care,
Good job,
Johnny.
guys.
Okay. Bye.